Hi, so in this video we're going to be working with trapezoids and kites, right? Trapezoids and kites are another type of quadrilateral, right? So we know that has four sides, right? A trapezoid is a quadrilateral with exactly one pair of parallel sides, right? As you remember on previous video, a parallelogram has two pairs of parallel sides. So a trapezoid has one pair of parallel sides. The parallel sides are called the bases, right? The non-parallel sides are called the legs. The two angles that share a base are called the base angles. So these two angles are base angles, right? And those two angles are other two base angles, right? There's a special type of trapezoid, and it's an isosceles trapezoid. That one is a trapezoid with legs that are congruent. So the two non-parallel sides are congruent to each other, right? And that one, if a quadrilateral is an isosceles trapezoid, then each pair of base angles is congruent. So in this case, angle D and C are congruent, and angle B and A are congruent, right? Also, the diagonals of a and isosceles trapezoids are congruent. The mid-segment of a trapezoid, is this segment right here. The endpoints of that segment are the midpoint of each of its legs. It's parallel to that one, and is also have the sum of the measure of each one. So if you add this segment plus that segment and divide it by 2, that's the measure of EF. Then the next type of quadrilateral is a kite. And as you can see, a kite does not have opposite congruent sides and do not have parallel sides, right? It's a quadrilateral with two pair of consecutive sides that are congruent. Right? This one has a property that states that if a quadrilateral is a kite, then its diagonals are perpendicular, right? And as you can see in this shape, also those bases that are between those two pair of parallel sides, of congruent sides, are also congruent. So last, I want to see a relation of the quadrilateral, right? So as you can see, a quadrilateral is a four-side polygon, right? So if it doesn't have pairs of parallel sides, it's a kite. If it only have one pair of parallel sides, then it's a trapezoid. And from there, we also have the isosceles trapezoid. It's a special type of trapezoid. And if it has two pair of parallel sides, then it's a parallelogram. And there we have three types of special cases: the rectangle, the rhombus, and if it combines properties of both rectangles and rhombus, is a square. Let's see some exercise, right? So I want to solve for x in each type of trapezoid, right? So I know that this is an isosceles trapezoid, right? And I know that two consecutive sides that are not two consecutive angles that are not base angle, they are supplementary angles. So 101 x plus 3 plus 76 equals 180. So 101x plus 79 equals 180 minus 79 on both sides. So 101x equals 101. I'm dividing by 101. So x equals 1. Okay, next one. So now I know again this is an isosceles trapezoid. Why? Because it's telling me that the non-parallel sides, so the legs are congruent, right? So when I have an isosceles trapezoid, its base angles are congruent. So that means that 3x plus 15 equals 60. So minus 15, 3x equals 45, and I'm dividing by 3, so x equals 15. So the next one, I have the mid segment. Okay, I have enough information because it's telling me that this C is congruent to C Z, C, and E, Y is congruent to Y, F, right? So how am I going to write this? So remember that the measure of the mixed segment is the sum divided by 2 of the bases. So 11 plus 15 divided by 2 equals 3x minus 2. So I'm just solving. So 26 divided by 2 is 13. 3x minus 2 plus 2, 15 equals 3x, and divided by 3, so x equals 5. The next one, again, I have those congruent sides, those congruent pieces. So 14 plus 18 divided by 2 equals x plus 8. 32 divided by 2, x plus 8. 16, x plus 8, minus 8, minus 8, so x equals 8. Okay, so this one, as you can see, I have a little bit more variables than the other exercise. So in this case, again, x minus 3, plus the other base, add 2x minus 2, all divided by 2, equals my mid-segment, so equals x. So 3x minus 5 divided by 2 equals x. I'm going to multiply times 2 on both sides so I can cancel out that 2. So 3x minus 5 equals 2x. So minus 3x on both sides, so negative 5 equals negative x. And now I'm just going to divide by 1, so x equals 5. We can check that, right? So let's see. So I'm going to substitute. I know that this is 5. So this is 2 times 5 minus 2, so 10 minus 2 equals 8. And here 5 minus 3 equals 2, right? So if I add 2 plus 8, so 2 plus 8 divided by 2 is 10 divided by 2, so it's 5. As you can see, that 5, and I have that the mid segment equals 5. Now I have a kite, and it's a little bit different, right? And we saw another theorem that these two angles are congruent, right? So that means that, let's name, so it's easy to work that this is x and x, right? So they are congruent, we can name it with the same variable, right? As you know, a quadrilateral, we can use the formula n minus 2 times 180. And we know that a quadrilateral has 2 180, so it's 360 degrees. So the sum of all the interior angles of a quadrilateral is 360. So I have x plus 101 plus 48 equals 360. So 2x plus 149 equals 360 minus 149. So 2x equals 211. And now I'm going to divide by 2, so x equals 105.5 degrees. So the measure of angle 1 that is equal to the measure of angle 2 equals 105.5 degrees. So, number 7. We know that this angle right there, this angle right here is perpendicular, right? So angle 1, so the measure of angle 1 equals 90 degrees, right? So I actually know that this one is also 90 degrees, and because I have a right triangle, I know that the measure of angle 1 by angle 2 plus 27 equals 90 degrees. So minus 27, so the measure of angle 2 equals 63 degrees, as well as the measure of angle 3 equals 63 degrees. Again, this angle is also 27, this is right, so you can see that that's 63 degrees. Okay, so on this one, remember again that the diagonals of a kite are perpendicular, right? So that means that 2x plus 10x, 2x plus 10x minus 6 equals 90 degrees, right? So 12x minus 6 equals 90 plus 6. 12x equals 96. So divided by 12, so x equals 8. Again, remember, because this is perpendicular, this is a right triangle right there. So this angle plus that one has to add to 90. So when we add that other 90, we complete the 180. So these two angles, we already saw that they are congruent. So 5x minus 15 plus equals 4x plus 13. So plus 15 plus 15. So 5x equals 4x plus 28 minus 4x. So x equals 28. So in this case, I know that this angle, those two angles are congruent. So this one is also y, right? So I have y minus 9 plus 4 times 28 plus 13. So I'm substituting that right there, okay? Plus y equals 180. I have a triangle up here, right? So because that one is y, so y plus 4 times 28, because I already know x, plus y minus 9 equals 180. So 2y minus 9 plus 112 plus 13 equals 180. So 2y plus 116 equals 180 minus 116. So 2y equals 64, and I'm going to divide by 2. So y equals 32. So I have x and y. Okay, so for this quadrilateral to be a parallelogram, kite, those has to be congruent, right? So 4x plus 1 has to equal 17, as well as 6x minus 3 has to equal 21. That should be the same because it's the same variable. So minus 1, 4x is 16, and I'm going to divide by 4. So x equals 4, and plus 3 plus 3, 6x equals 24, divided by 6, so x equals 4. Again, so for this quadrilateral to be a kite, TL has to be equal to GT, and LO has to equal to TO. The next one, right? I have the angle formed by the diagonals, right? To be a kite, the diagonal has to be perpendicular. That means that 6x plus 6 has to equal to 90 minus 6. 6x equals 84. I'm going to divide by 6. So x equals 14. And that's it for this lesson. May the force be with you.